What up, everybody? Welcome to the IAG Thursday Thing, this thing that we do every Thursday, even when we do a doubleheader on a Wednesday. We're recording this one early for a couple of reasons. Next week, which is the week this will release or not? Yes. Yes, this is the week that this will release. I will be in the Caribbean.
Going to be on a cruise. Hell yeah.
And I am going to unplug. I don't want to talk to any of you people. I am going to be not Dewey. I might actually go by Eric for the whole week.
When's the last time you went on a cruise?
I've never been on a cruise.
Never been? Mm-hmm. Oh, shit, dude. It's a wonderful time.
You know what I want out of this cruise? The massage that we have on like Tuesday or something. I am so sore from last weekend.
Last year, Sam and I did a massage on our cruise. Way overpriced.
I don't care.
But it felt beautiful. It was amazing.
I don't care. I literally, I'm going to do so much nothing. The piece of electronic equipment that I'm bringing with me, really the only piece I'm bringing with me is an iPad, and I'm doing it solely to read comic books on. Yeah. And I'm going to sit in the sun and read comic books and drink smoothies.
Hell yeah.
I don't want anybody to talk to me.
It's going to be a beautiful time.
Sounds like a great plan. You need to not.
So, we're joined as usual by my partner in crime, Warranty. Warranty, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. Since the last episode, I've received 0 negative feedback about that thumbnail picture I took with the coilover and the dog. So,
well, we recorded that episode an hour ago. So, behind the scenes, I'm also joined here in the Milan IAG remote studio, Milan, Tennessee. It's actually just my office, but producer Jordan came to pick up my my BRZ because he's going to be running it this year in Club TR. But producer Jordan's here in the office with me. What's up?
Nothing much. Just like an hour ago, coming back from a 9-hour drive straight to do this.
Yeah. Good times. And then we also got to thank Randy for the thumbnail. I have no idea what the thumbnail is going to look like for this, but I'm sure he'll come up with something good because he's Randy and it's just what he does. Thank you, Randy, for everything that you do for us. This week, we're going to go over some news topics that have been building up a little bit, and we've wanted to chat about them anyway. And honestly, this is a great time to do news topics because I won't be here next week, and hopefully no interesting and insane news happens between now and then. So where do we want to start? I think we should start with what released today because yikes.
Yeah, let's do it that way.
Okay.
So Subaru announced 3 new cars today. Well, 3 updates to existing cars. And they are the new Soltara, Outback, and Outback Wilderness. So I've read through the press releases. I looked at the photos, and then I took some notes.
All right.
Let's start with you. What did you think of each one?
The Outback is... I don't know, man. It looks like a new Ford and a Chevy Avalanche had a strange love child. It's weird. I can't sit here and pretend I'm okay about it. It's strange looking. The Soltara looks boring as shit.
Sure does.
And but I mean that's kind of what they're going for with that. I think it looks better in the last generation, but
yes, but that says very little.
That says very little, and I honestly it looks so similar to the last generation, other than like some small updates that I have a hard time believing it's drastically different of a car. But I think you might have some specs.
Yes,
and the Wilderness Edition, I didn't see anything that really popped out. So honestly, I'm gonna say something though. I'm happy Subaru's getting back to making polarizing vehicles. Okay, because as ugly as I think this new Outback is, this is going to be one of those things in 2 years. I'm going to go, that looks pretty good. You know what I mean? Or maybe I do hate it, but the people who do love it really love it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Same thing with the new VBWX. Oh my God, people hated it. I hated it.
Yeah, I'm
And
kidding around
I look
to
at
it.
it now and I go, okay, I see it. I get it. I see
Yep.
what you're doing, Subaru.
So let's
that.
talk about the new Outback a little bit. What are our specs changes? I haven't really got to go over that too much. They kind of dropped it while I was in the middle of some shit. So
Okay, so we'll start with the new Outback. In terms of specs, the only ones that were listed in the press release was 10% less wind noise and 42% less lateral sway. So these are incremental improvements on an already good car.
they added sway bars and a giant front end. So you're going to hear less wind because it's blowing it all away from your windows.
Something like that. Yeah. Some of the plastic cladding on the car apparently does help with wind noise, such as along the running boards below the doors. But in general, inside and out, it's just less fatigue on long trips, and that's what they're going for. So
okay.
Other things that jumped out at me. The press release mentions more physical buttons because you can use them while you're wearing gloves, which is a very outdoorsy thing to do. So
now I'm looking at some interior pics right now, and it looks like they moved a bunch of their HVAC stuff and things of that nature away from the screen. Bravo, Subaru.
Yes.
I think that's great. Okay, I think that is
more of this, please.
More of that, please, and more. I like that a lot. That's one of my least favorite parts of the VB. Because the VB literally looks really empty other than this giant iPad looking thing in the center.
Right.
Honestly, I think the interior looks pretty cool. If this is where a bunch of their new design language is going, I'm not mad about that. Now, how about they take this engine, shove it into a Crosstrek?
Gravel Express, baby.
Come on. I'm just begging you guys. Give me something to get excited about. Expressive.
So, other new features. The headline for me was hands-free, radar-based cruise control up to 85 miles an hour. So as long as the car thinks you're paying attention, you can take your hands and your feet off the controls, and it will drive itself, even around easy corners, such as on a highway. So that's pretty cool.
That sounds like take a nap for Illinois. I like it.
It has like Face ID, where if you close your eyes or look out the side window, it'll give you about 5 seconds, and then it'll shut off. So
if you're not paying attention, it just tries to kill you. Got it.
It's literally just right into a guardrail.
Yeah, it just turns off, and like if you like yonk out or whatever, it immediately starts turning towards death.
It's like, you chose this, it's on you.
Yup.
It's also got Safe Stop, I think it's called, which if you are driving in adaptive cruise control like this and you do not pay attention at all for a certain amount of time, it will actually pull over the car for you and then unlock the doors and then call emergency services. So as an insurance nerd, I think that's pretty cool. Anything you can do to help prevent a person with a heart attack or a stroke from crashing into somebody, I think is a good thing. So
it's wonderful technology, but I wonder how well it's actually going to work.
yeah, I agree. I like eyesight. I like adaptive cruise control, but it's worse in the BRZ with the manual, which is weird. You would think it'd be identical experience to the automatic, but it's not. It's a little bit annoying.
Like the adaptive cruise control, like the auto braking on it, it's usually way too aggressive. Like it slams on the brakes.
I have had some issues with that in the BRZ. The big thing that I have annoyance with is when it slows down on the adaptive part of adaptive cruise. It's very quick to hit the brakes and then takes a while to speed back up. Even though I have it on the most enthusiastic acceleration setting. Meanwhile, when I've driven an older Outback with adaptive cruise that's an automatic, you can drive in Chicago traffic and it's smooth and wonderful. It'll come to a stop. It'll keep going at about the right pace, both going and stopping. So yeah, so that's the highlight on that car. So what else do we have? All right, the styling. Here's my notes from the styling. It's a huge grille in the front. I think it looks I'm gonna say ugly. There are some international markets that really like huge grills. So
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm sure there's going to be people who look at that and go, man, it looks really tough and I kind of like it. You know, whatever. I don't know. I don't want my Subaru to look tough.
Yeah, it's a world away from the original Outback, which looked like a legacy wagon because it was a legacy wagon.
Yeah.
So on the plus side, hood height seems to be the same, so it's just a cosmetic change rather than making it a larger vehicle. But 2 inches, if that's what ends up being the change, could be significant.
It
What
looks like a
else?
fucking truck.
It does. The headlights are very thin and squinty, just like some of the Jeeps, and don't follow Jeep in any fashion. Don't do it, and they did.
Yeah.
So
Well, what do we know?
it's trying hard to look like an SUV.
Yeah.
Here's the changes that I highlighted as interesting, uncommon, or cool. WRX derived electric power steering rack. This was mentioned in the press release.
Really?
It said WRX derived. Yes. So that's interesting. In addition to acting like an SUV, it sounds like they want to display it as a more sporty vehicle.
It's tough and sporty.
Right. The digital dashboard also has calm mode, so it's less cluttered with information.
I like
my mom would
that.
like that. Yeah. And then lastly, they revised the symmetrical all-wheel drive and added features or improved features that sure sound like something that's sporty, and yet they're just calling it all-wheel drive. Faster center differential lockup, and now steering wheel angle is considered for better high-speed cornering. So that sounds
Subaru and their automatic transmissions, which would probably also fall under their CVTs, their center differential has been a variable center differential for a very long time.
viscous.
And variable, literally, like, like it's like instead of DCCD changing lock, it's actually able to move around torque. It's not a ton, but it can, and I wonder if they sped that up.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. Like I'm kind of interested in that. I'm down with that. I'm feeling it.
Other highlights, stronger roof rails, but the only additional spec is you can now hang a hammock or a clothesline off the side. So the tent weight rating is the same, the dynamic cargo tray weight rating is the same, but now it's rated to 220 pounds, hanging something off the side of the roof rails. So that's cool, I guess. I don't camp, but I would love to camp in an Outback.
Dylan would love it.
Yep.
You can't camp in an Outback. You're still too tall for it.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I don't know. We managed to fit 3 of us in that BRZ. You might be fine.
That's true.
Some of the models now come with
not gay if you don't
wheels.
make eye contact.
That's right.
If you don't know whose hand it is,
Yeah, it's totally
my
fine.
hand.
The socks are on. It's okay.
So some models now come with 19-inch wheels, and so it makes it look more like an SUV. But knowing what the legacy Outback used to look like, it's we'll see. I think it's overdone, but I'm not a styling expert by any means. Last thing I noticed for you, Dewey, is the ECU is now physically smaller. So they're clearly on a new generation ECU.
It's interesting. And I'm actually, that doesn't surprise me all that much. If you think the physical size of the ECUs have been fairly unchanged since like the early 90s, and look how far we've come, in transistor technology and everything since then. It's wild that an ECU inside of a car is any bigger than a phone to me.
Yeah. And now it looks like a square that's as big as the big old plug that goes in the side.
Good.
So,
Crazy.
Yep. So that's all I got on the new Outback. Next up is the new Outback Wilderness.
Yeah.
So,
Don't spend too much time on this. What'd they change?
Yeah, I don't have much because they didn't change very much. So the very first photo is an Outback parked on 3 wheels. So they're clearly going after this car can do Jeep things.
Okay.
I believe it, I guess. I don't know. I think Outback Wilderness looks cool. New car still looks cool.
Does it have any more power?
No, it still comes with the same 260 horsepower, FA24.
Does it have anything like other than maybe some jacked up tires and suspension, really, that is really going to make the world change. And a different
New for
paint
this
job.
generation is electronic adjustable dampers. So it makes me think, did that also come from the WRX with some retuned suspension?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Wouldn't have
The
been hard.
one weird piece of the press release was they said the dampers function, quote, like a skyhook to minimize sway when driving off road. That sounds like a buzzword, so maybe Jeep owners know what that means.
Yeah, that's buzzwordy to me. I don't know what the fuck is a
I don't know. I'm
skyhook?
not a Jeep person, so
Is that literally skyhook?
Yes, literally like a skyhook to minimize sway when driving off road. I went and Googled for 5 seconds, and a skyhook is a front tow hook that gets you up a very steep grade. I don't
Oh,
understand.
that's news to me. I don't even know what that is. So cool.
I don't know what that is. Yep.
Um,
Rear bumper's been changed. Optional trailer hitch has been upgraded for easier hitched installation, but the towing capacity is the same at 3,500 pounds. And that's it.
oh, that's cute. All right, let's talk about this Soltara, the electric savior of Subaru.
Yeah. So here's what I got. First off is the styling. The front end looks like a blob of nothing.
Yep.
Not shaped. It's got minimal design characteristics.
Yes.
Honestly, it reminds me of how good the new Prius looks, because this ain't it.
No.
They changed the front fenders.
It looks. I'm not gonna lie. I look at this car, knowing that Subaru I don't think cares about it, and I get the same vibe that Subaru just still doesn't care about it.
Yeah, it's a Toyota, and they badge engineered it to be a Subaru for compliance reasons.
Yep.
They changed the front fenders from black plastic to painted, but only for certain colors. Only for certain colors. So
Oh, okay.
I had to read that twice. I was like, oh, this is a great change. Wait a minute. It's still going to be there.
Okay.
Headlights look like squinty cat eyes, but they have 6 LED bulbs rather than 3 like the Outback. And it's got an illuminated front badge. I looked at the Solterra first. The interior is very plain compared to the new Outback. So, kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's because they don't care about it.
Right.
Any specs worth talking about change? Does it have more range? Has it got a little more torque?
Range is 280 miles, so I think that is larger because it's got a 25% larger battery. Now it's 75 kilowatt hours. It's got a Tesla charge connector, and it's got faster charging.
Okay.
Faster
Nobody
charging
cares.
is still not that fast.
This is a 2-generation old vehicle at this point, really.
Yeah, they're playing catch up, and it's still behind the competition.
They don't, they have no intention of trying to catch up, because Toyota, who's steering the ship these days at Subaru, does not care about electric vehicles. They are wholeheartedly of the belief that hybrids are the future. I even believe them on that, but they are of the belief that hybrids are the future. And it's not like the path forward is not full electric. So they are doing this literally because they're kind of being pushed into it. I'm wondering if all the shenanigans with tariffs and gutting EPA regulations and things like that, this is a car they don't give a shit about. And it may be easier for them to just not make it if they aren't required to make it. I could see this car just going away soon.
Yeah, I could see it. There's not a single special thing about this car except maybe Toyota Subaru reliability.
It's one of those things that it's the problem that like Mitsubishi ran into, okay? Or some of these other companies have ran into. There is always something else on the market with this vehicle. There's something better in every way. This vehicle does nothing exceptional. It just exists to exist. And like Mitsubishi, their brand got screwed like that because every single thing on their lot was that. And that's why Mitsubishi just kind of went poof. Because there was nothing, the only thing they did was make something reasonably cheap, but then Kia did it better.
Yep.
So why do you even exist? God, that would have been a rough time to be a Mitsubishi car salesman. And, sure. It's not a rough time to be a Subaru salesman, but I guarantee they're not getting their doors kicked open for Solteras.
No, no, they're giving them away. So
Yep.
yeah, it's sad because electric cars are fine. They're just not the end all be all. And this is completely unremarkable. It is third best in everything.
Yeah, which is, who wants that? Other than
No,
if you're
no.
like just, like you're like me, who's like brand loyal to a fault. You know what I mean?
Right.
And for whatever reason, I have to buy a a
Electric car.
a full electric vehicle for whatever reason. And since I'm so ridiculously brand loyal, I would probably look at it, but even then, I don't think I would buy it.
Yep, right there with you. So that's
Well,
all that's
that was
can be
fun.
said about it.
We
Alright,
spent way more time on that than we should have.
Okay, so let's rip through the news. We got two things to talk about in the land of Travis Pastrana.
Yes.
Number one, Travis Pastrana has a new rally car. He's dropped down a class to
I'm
limited
excited about
four-wheel
this.
drive.
So
All right, tell me why you're excited.
the concept behind this car, there's two things I'm excited about. Open class rally has gotten too expensive for anybody outside of straight up millionaires to play with. Okay. They're the only way you could even remotely compete with Subaru is you got to go buy a WRC car. I mean, that's where things are. And nobody has the budget to run that. And Subaru of America is the only factory back team and has been for basically a decade within ARA, the American Rally Association. So stage rally at its top is kind of dead. Now, the classes under it have been super competitive, but I don't think there's not enough light shown on it. The majority of people are getting their rally news through launch control, which is a basically Subaru Rally Team USA propaganda. Okay. Which I enjoy watching, and I love that they make launch control, and I don't want to take anything away from them on that. Please keep making that program. I think it's great. But the in the end of the day, launch control is there to sell Subarus. So they're not going to show other brands or how close people actually were, or hell, even if they lose. So and they've been basically running unopposed in open class. So what I'm excited to see is them take kind of the same approach to the class under them, which is what did you say the class was called? Because I'm not 100% up to ARA classing.
I think it's limited four-wheel drive.
I do know. Yeah, I think it is limited four-wheel drive, and I think it is. Either way, it's much more of a production-based vehicle. Okay.
Yes.
And what they have put together for that looks very exciting and a lot more relatable. And from the sounds of it, the concept is Travis is kind of launching this, but those who maybe have the means but don't have the ability to build it can do arrive and drive with Subaru Rally Team. So with Vermont Sports Car, they have an arrive and drive situation they're putting together. I think it could make that class very interesting, and I think it's going to shine a light in an area that is much more attainable for others. I think open is going to kind of die. And I think this could turn into a war zone. And it might be really fun to watch, and it might be the thing that saves stage rally in the United States.
You know, I have a slightly different interpretation about this.
Sure.
I watched the Dirtfish interview with Travis Pastrana, and he talked a lot about cost savings, and he talked a couple of times about arrive and drive. So I'm sure that's a big part of it.
Sure.
Travis Pastrana is going to be a competitor until the day he dies because he's that guy and he always has been.
Yeah.
Why he's so successful. But he also said, look, man, I've got kids and I cannot keep up with Brandon Semenuk anymore. That guy retired me out of open class. So I have a feeling Subaru is still going to go all out just on Brandon in the open class. And then Travis is going to go
I'm not saying they're not going to go all out on Brandon. I'm saying at a certain point, Subaru is going to go, what the fuck is the point anymore? Because I think you're going to see more eyes turn to there is more competition in what Travis is about to do. The competition can't always be Travis versus Brandon.
Totally.
So I think there's going to be more competition, which will make this significantly more compelling to watch. This is why I think it's going to help Stage Rally.
Closer to OEM based, it looks more like a VBWX. The wing looks like it came off of an actual STI.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm for it. Anything that's more OEM based, I'm a big fan.
Oh man, I'm in a couple of weird rally groups, including this really weird 2-wheel drive rally group. I don't know how the hell I ended up in it, but it's literally nothing but memes. And they have a really good time making fun of the all-wheel drive guys. But they were all convinced that Travis's rear wing was illegal. And they were making memes about, show us your illegal rear wing. But I actually had to put in there. I'm actually like kind of a Subaru guy, and that's an OEM wing, guys. Like, I'm sorry. It's just, it might not be US domestic market, but it's legal.
Yep. And that's
Brad is in the chat saying Grid Life needs to do rally. And I gotta be real. The Grid Life approach to rally, I think could do a lot for rally. What they need is a guy like Chris to come in and go, this is how you fix this. It's going to be stage rally is its own animal though. Yeah, like Serapin Wolf said, they tried a PPIR, but that was more like there was an open area to do a rallycross stage, which was kind of cool, and they had a good time with it. But they got too much going on track to mess with that. Like, they need a Chris-style entity, or maybe hire Chris as a consultant or something to, like, set them on the correct path. But what I can tell you is they need to not try to present rally even like Grid Life does, not try to present it as like a live thing. They need to present rally more as a reality show. They do an okay job of that with Launch Control, but it's like weirdly dramatized. It needs to be somewhere in between Street Outlaws and Drive to Survive, and I think they would kill it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But that's how they need to approach it. It needs to come from ARA, not Subaru.
Yep. So overall, positive for American Rally, and wait and see for the details.
Yeah, but I think overall, I think it's a very positive thing for American Rally. And if you are a Subaru fan, you guys should be promoting that, sharing stuff from it, and everything else, because I think it could be really good. And I hope that class takes off. And I hope we see other Subarus and other shops try to put stuff together to try to go after them, because I do believe that class is limited enough to where I don't think money can just buy it like you can with Open.
Yep. So next piece of news about Travis Pastrana. Travis tried a pop shove it in the family Huckster and ended up flipping the damn thing.
Oh my God. I gotta be real. Somebody got of all the people I didn't think were going to get a physics lesson, I didn't think it'd be Travis Pastrana. But if you guys don't know what he's talking about, essentially the Huckster, his idea was to try to get a kind of a moving flat spin as fast as he could on ice. So he was trying to get it to spin as fast as he could, and then go over a ramp and basically do a spin in the air and land it. Okay. But the thing you run into is tires have so much centrifugal force, wheels and tires, that it ended up like the second he went off the ramp, it just flipped the car over. And it was it was a wild physics lesson.
Yeah, he did a 360 flip for the skateboarders out there.
Yes.
And it's from the wheels moving. So,
Yeah, he basically
oh,
did a kickflip without feet in a car. So he accomplished something.
yeah, the wheel flew off. Car looked like it got really, really beat up.
That
But
sucks because I think they just put it together.
okay.
That
Yeah.
like from Goodwood where it got hurt pretty bad.
It was rough to see because Travis does a lot of physics analysis for all of
Hmm.
his big tricks. Like he's got smart people around him and they tried it and it
Yeah.
didn't work. So props for trying it, but I'm like, man, that's
Uh, that hurt to
that's a
see
surprise. Yeah.
because I saw him doing it and I'm like, as he's coming up to it, and I'm not trying to say I am a physics major or anything like that, but I'm going, man, I don't know how that's going to work. And then it did what I was worried in my brain it would do. And it was almost like I was proud of myself, and I felt bad for being proud of myself that I called it. Because I don't want to
Yeah.
see that happen. The concept of that could be really cool. Now, what I do wonder is if he would have jammed the brakes right at the top of the ramp. I don't think it would have did the same thing. I think it would have accomplished. I think he could have spun it.
I wonder. I could see that happening, but I'm not an expert by any means. So yeah, you love to see it, but you also hate to see it.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, at least they're doing cool shit. They could have
yeah,
not done anything. If you
totally
think
agree.
about it from a marketing standpoint, you and I are talking about it right now.
Yep, totally agree. So next, most searched cars in the U.S. This came across our news bureau this past week, and
Yes.
a little surprising. So Subaru was the most searched car brand in 14 states. There was some
Yeah.
variety here, but it was, I think, Pacific Northwest, of course, and then Wisconsin and Michigan, and then the East Coast, like Maine and all those small states.
Very
So,
surprised Michigan was on there, but that just goes to
yeah,
show you how times have changed.
sure. Overall, 14 states for Subaru the brand. However, what was more surprising was the individual most searched vehicle. The Subaru Legacy was the most searched car in 7 states. That's astounding because that car is now discontinued.
Yes. Which really makes you wonder, like, I can't believe they got rid of the brand name. They could have got rid of the car and just called it the Legacy Outback, you know what I mean? To try to save some of that, like, SEO, that search engine optimization.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
to me, I would have looked at that and saw a lot of value in that. But what do I know?
Yeah. The Legacy, first of all, is a great name for a car. I
Oh,
could
it's
see that
great.
being
I don't
like a
think we've seen
Toyota
the
Century.
end of that either.
Yeah. It could be a Toyota Century Halo car, or it could be, they could reuse the Legacy name for a Lavorg and bring that to America.
Sure.
But what do we know? Yeah, but what I would like to not see is that car turn into an SUV and then be an electric car, such as the Mustang.
Yep.
So, but yeah, very surprising. So I don't know what to think of it, but I was shocked and I wrote it down. So,
Yeah. That was wild. There was a lot of stuff that was popping up in there that was I was actually the one who found that article, and the reason I found it was they were doing market research here at IAG for Bronco stuff. And it
okay.
popped up, like this popped up, and I'm like, wow, this is some really crazy info. So I grabbed the article and for us to chat about it. But like that, I was really astounded at how much Subaru is actually searched throughout the country. That was really wild to me.
Wow. So I got one more piece of Subaru related news. A car came up for sale. It was a show car, and it's
Oh,
called the
is it a show car
VB500.
though? I truly think this person believes it is a race car.
I got that
Well,
vibe too.
That's what they're trying to sell it as is a race car. Now, is it actually a show car? Yes. But
yes. And the price tag was $138,000. So let's
this
call it a
was a
$38,000 car.
24 VB.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Car.
this is a basic bolt-ons with some with some decent like quality modifications to the outside in a STI transmission, which is the kind of the highlight of it. And they wanted, what was it,
$138,000.
$138,000. I almost fell out of my chair when I saw this. Now, I thought it was fake. I absolutely thought it was fake. It was in the, when I first saw it, it was in the Subaru guys who hate Subaru guys thing. And it was just, I'm still like astounded at they even remotely. So like, listen to some of these modifications. Cusco sway bars, some Cusco power braces. Again, the transmission R180 and all that and a carbon drive shaft. Cool. Not gonna lie, if we were talking a VA WRX and this thing was really low mileage and it was really clean, I would see that as a value add. Okay, but I can't see that as anything more than a value add. Maybe 10 grand. So let's say this was a $40,000 car. If this guy was asking 50, I could wrap my brain around it. Okay. Parent oil cooler, nothing wrong with that, but nothing fancy. Notice I did not say built engine or anything like that. It's a stock engine, stock turbo setup. A radium dual catch can setup. They'd be much better off with our AOS. I'm just going to throw that out there. They made sure to put a modification in here is Motul 300V oil, just so you're aware. We put really good oil in this. I'm not going to go into the suspension because I don't want to cause trouble, but it's a brand we don't talk about.
Yep.
But again,
triple disc clutch
not exactly a giant value add. Okay. There is just, if we're talking $140,000, I will say there's not even a set of Fortune Autos that Fortune Auto makes that could even remotely justify this. Okay. Even if they had Fortune Auto Pro 3-ways and the every possible option you could throw at it.
I think this is a stock turbo. There's no.
It is a stock turbo. It's a stock engine, stock turbo on a Cobb access port with the 85. It makes 390 wheel.
The clutch is rated to 800 foot-pounds of torque. What are we doing here?
I don't know who built this. It doesn't make any sense. And then they've got a 9 Lives wing, which again, got nothing against Johnny, but it isn't like this is some like crazy one-off carbon wing or anything like that. It might even be their aluminum wing, which is even crazier. A basic Cybon carbon hood. Their brand race flow diffuser and some hood latch pins. An access port and a tune. $138,995. Are you fucking high?
10K spring rate. 10K spring rate.
I'm not mad about that.
They don't mention front and rear, so it could be 10K, which doesn't make much sense at all.
It does not make much sense, especially if you have aero on the car, but whatever. You know what I mean? This is insane.
They do flat out say street legal track car.
I'm astounded. Like, I don't want to keep talking about it because this is so not real. This guy's got to be trolling for attention.
So I want to put this into perspective. You can go buy a GR86 Cup car for this.
Yeah.
New. Yep. Like,
yes, and it's
not even a used
car.
one, and it is a better car. And honestly, I'm willing to believe it even turned better laps.
Yep.
And that comes with a proper sequential and everything. Mm-hmm. It's caged correctly. Like, it is a race car. Like, this is insane.
It doesn't
mention
it.
Has a cage.
Mm-mm. Doesn't have a cage because it's a street car.
I am astounded.
Now, with that stated, these guys are doing a good job. You know why? We're talking about it. Okay. Now, if you scroll down, they've got this crazy ass thing. There's other stuff that's on this site. Okay. That makes way more sense. Okay. A bunch of Porsches for reasonable prices, a GT4 Supra, for prices that make sense for what they're supposed to be. Like you could go get a 997 GT3 Cup car from these guys, and it's 85 grand. You know,
Wow.
So I don't know if this is a auction site. That's kind of the vibe I get for you. It's www.racecarsforyou.com, and it's been giving me tons of entertainment. But I have a feeling that's what they deal with, is mostly race vehicles. But then this thing, I don't know where they get off.
Yep. I don't know what to say.
It's astounding.
I hope they didn't pay this much for this car, because this is depressing. It's got cool Brembos though. 6-pot front, 4-pot rear. That's
I
cool.
mean, that sure is a thing.
Yep. It's not $100,000 a thing, but it's cool. So.
No. So if I were to put a price on this, let's say this thing has it's almost newish, and they put this all together and yada, yada, yada. If they were to have put this up for like 65, I'd have went, I can see it. You know what I mean? If it's used 45 to 50, you know, if everything on there is brand new, you know what I mean? And the car is brand new, but you know, it's got a 6-speed and everything else. Like, it's got the right pieces. I could see them asking S209 pricing for it. You know what I mean? Oh, that's what we got to talk about.
What's up?
Jerry Seinfeld. I can't believe we didn't talk about this. I'm so mad.
Oh, we almost forgot.
Jerry Seinfeld was on a podcast recently. I think he said this on Joe Rogan first and then said it on somebody else's podcast. He's on a podcast recently, and they got into talking about cars. Jerry Seinfeld's a big car guy. Okay. He's kind of like a Jay Leno with that. Jerry Seinfeld's a very big car guy. They ask him, hey, what are you driving lately? Like, what's your daily or whatever? And he goes, let me tell you a story. I had this Subaru S209. I loved it. Okay. But somebody convinced me being in California and whatever, I needed to get an electric vehicle. So I sold it and got an electric vehicle, and I hated it. So I went and bought my S209 back, and I drive it every day, and I love it. I love my S209. That man daily drives an S209, and he loves it. Jerry Seinfeld is a Subaru bro.
That's wild.
Love to hear it.
I mean,
Absolutely wild.
It's a perfect example of, you know, you're coming back. Once, if you are honestly, if you truly love it, you're never going to find something else like it.
Yeah.
He was on Matt Ferris' podcast. That's what it was. And
That's
they
what
were, they were floored when he said that, because I think he owns Porsches and stuff, but what does he drive? S209.
Yep.
What a boss.
That is wild.
Jerry Seinfeld is super cool, and I would like to invite him to a Grid Life event. I'll even get him in for free. And he can hang out. We'll talk Subarus. Like, that's anytime if he wants to come on a higher end intellectual Subaru podcast sometime. The invitation is open, Jerry. Anytime you want to come on, we will talk Subarus with you all day long. And we won't even make it weird. I promise.
The reason he likes it, go listen to the podcast, but the short reason why he likes the S209 is because Subaru, or Japanese cars in general, display the national driving characteristic better than other brands.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
And you could feel it.
Mm-hmm. Good taste in cars and good justification.
I agree. No, it's super solid. Big fan. Big fan. Big fan.
Yep. So last thing on my list is not Subaru related, but it's a whole lot better than a VB for $138,000. It is a first generation NSX on Bring a Trailer for $370,000.
It was that's what it ended up selling for too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
That, now, if I remember right, wasn't that like a 2001 or whatever? That was the fixed headlight one, like the really, really right near the end.
Let's see.
Was it also silver? So it was not even like the most desirable color.
No, here I'm pulling it up now. Yeah, silver is a 2002.
Yep, 2002. So one of the last years, with the fixed headlights, 6-speed. So it was the right car. Just honestly, still not the most desirable color, but it wasn't that long ago when that car was 80, and it was, people considered that really high because it had the fixed headlights and whatever. First gen NSXs were going in the 20s.
Wild.
The biggest reason I want to, like, Japanese Halo cars are going through the roof, and this will affect the price of your '05 STI if it is clean. They're going up. We care about this car. You know what I mean? Guys that are my age down to guys that are your age, and people who are, us three here. This car is important to us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We're going to drive the prices of these up because they don't make them anymore. They don't make them like that anymore. And, if we have the means, we're going to go after the one we want. I wish I fit into an NSX. I 100% will say without a shadow of a doubt, I would take a first gen NSX over, a Cayman or a Boxster or something like that. I would rather have that, but I don't fit in it.
Yeah. I don't think I fit in it either.
Oh, you really don't fit in it. I could probably force myself to fit in it, but I would know it every time I drove it that this ain't what I want. You know what I mean? It's one of the reasons I'm so freakishly attracted to the Boxster and the Cayman is because I fit into it very naturally. The NSX, I sat into a first gen that had a racing seat when we were at Laguna last time. And it put me in a position that I'm like, I could make this work. Like, I would not be sad about driving this. And it brought hope, but I'd have a very hard time spending, 70, 80 grand on a clean one now to then have to make it not clean so I could fit in it. Because the stock seats ain't a thing. I don't know. What do you think?
Another one of those cars that I like, but I don't fit in it, so I can't like it too hard. I do like a second gen NSX, but probably the same problem. I don't think I'll fit in it.
Yeah, I bet you the second gen NSX, I bet you're not too far off. I bet you I'd fit in that. First gen, ain't happening. Just absolutely ain't happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's all we got. I found the website to the VB500, but I don't want to talk about it anymore because it's just depressing.
It is extremely depressing. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
it's very serious, and it's simply not correct.
No, they 100% truly believe this. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't. They think the car is worth that.
Yeah,
it's definitely not a joke.
So
wow. Well, all right. So that's what we got.
Yep. I think we caught up on the news. So by the time I get back, what in the actual fuck? They're claiming it's the quickest, most powerful. I can't talk. It's making me mad. Okay, so like I said, I won't be here this next week. So if you're trying to get a hold of me,
don't.
I'm on a vacation. If you can't get a hold of me, that's why. Anybody who is listening to this during this, when this does release, it's going to be rough for, there's like a Bronco super celebration going on. I won't be there. A bunch of the staff won't be there. The people who are left behind are going to have a very rough time at IAG next week. Please cut them some slack. It's going to be rough. Okay. So if you can't get through, this is why. They'll get back to you. Especially if we're talking about IAG performance, and we're talking about Subarus and mostly like these are your toys or whatever. Let's be real. Like, this is not life or death. It's Subarus. Okay. Cut some people some slack. I had a guy get mad at me today. There's a guy who made a post last night on a Subaru group that for some reason our website was like doing some weird error where it was trying to charge him like $1,700 in freight for some basic shit. Okay. Something was not right. All right. And the guy went and complained in a Subaru group. And I told him, hey man, This was, I caught this at like 12:30 at night. Okay. So I put a post in there and sent this guy a message, but put a post in. I'm like, hey man, hit me up in the morning. I'm sure it's something wrong with the website. I have a hard time believing that's what it actually is. We'll get you figured out. No big deal. Right. You know, just hit me up in the morning when I can do something about this. And then I sent him a PM saying basically the same thing. Some dude hit me up today. He's like, oh yeah, just blow this guy off for a week while, you know, you guys are hemorrhaging customers. I'm like, are you shitting me? I'm like, dude, how much more customer service can you get? It was after midnight. I don't have control over this website. Nothing was going to ship at that time anyway. And honestly, I was probably going to discount the guy a little bit because of the bullshit he went through. You know, I was going to try to help him out in any possible way I could. And then this rando comes in and tries to like flame us. Like, what the hell? It was probably a bot from some other certain person that we don't talk about. Either way, that annoyed me.
Wow.
That's all I got. I'm just complaining.
Right. Well, enjoy your cruise.
Yes.
Do not think about cars. Think about comic books and massages, and don't even use the name Dewey. Just
Yep.
say hi,
I'm not
Eric,
Dewey.
and
I'm
just, you
nobody.
know,
I cannot wait to just not. I'm going to do so much not next week. Oh my God. I'm going to, so much not.
yeah, it's great. And we'll see you on the other side, man. And get back to being in the fire and fighting the fight.
Yep. Sounds good, guys. Yeah, we'll go from there and then we'll keep you updated. We got some big stuff coming for the podcast in the not too distant future. We got some really cool guests and some cool show ideas we want to implement. I need things to calm down a little bit. So, all right, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. And we will see you cats next time.